In this video, we'll be talking about some best practices when dealing with logins. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to begin and create a basic login test. But before we do that, we should understand that, as we know, most applications require a login to perform any meaningful tasks. So with dealing with logins, we really want to take three things into consideration. One, tests should work both locally and remotely for login. Tests should work with different usernames or environments or passwords. And we should also consider scenarios where the user is already logged in. So we're going to go ahead and create a basic test. And I'm going to ignore this shared step. And we're going to go through and create a test here. We're going to click login. And now I'm going to do a quick validation. So we're going to validate that we're actually logged in. And now we're going to go ahead and log out. And I'm going to stop the execution there. Okay. So the other thing we want to do is save your test. Very important. Okay. So we've saved the test. Okay. Great. Now, another good idea in developing this test, if we want to run it, so another benefit of doing this is you can also run this test in incognito mode. We're going to select that and we're going to run this. You know, some of the benefits of doing things in incognito mode is it's not going to cache any of the information. It's not also going to start with a clean browser every time, and it's not going to store any cookies or anything like that either. So as we're developing and troubleshooting this test, that's going to be a good thing. The next thing we want to talk about is we want to actually group this test and make it more efficient. So you notice here we have a tab. We don't need that, so we're going to delete that. And we're going to go ahead and group a few of these steps. So right up to login. So if we go over here to groups, we could say login best practice. And we want to make it a shared group. A shared group means it's going to be shared and can be leveraged across hundreds or thousands even of other tests. So let's go ahead and click confirm. And the next thing we really want to do is if we go in here to login practice, we want to add some parameters. So we want to add a parameter for username. Parameters for shared steps are a best practice as well, password, and let's do one for logged in user. Okay, and so if we go in here, parameters need to be surrounded by single quotes. Okay, so we've done that, and there's our password, and it's hello John is our expected. This is we're going to verify that the logged in user is correct. Okay, so now if we actually click on this, we're going to actually change this. So instead of actually hard coding this, we're going to put in username. For password, we're going to put in password. And then what we're going to do is for this validation, actually we want to copy this step. So this is the other benefit here. We're going to go ahead and click copy. And we're going to put this right at the end here. Okay, so but instead of hello John, we're going to change it to the variable that we're going to pass in and we're going to use as a parameter. User, okay. And if we go back, now what we're going to do, I'm going to delete this step. And we're going to go in here and we're going to change it to, okay, good. So there's our logout step. So let's go ahead and run this again. So essentially what we did was we created a shared step and then we parameterized that step. Okay, and we can see that the test completed. So the final thing that we might want to do when we're dealing with logins is we want to have a condition. And so what that condition is going to do, if you click on when to run step, maybe we want to say that if the element text equals login, then we want to actually go through and run this step, right? So kind of a best practice there. I'm also going to create a group for log out. So let's create a group. Let's call it log out best practices. Okay. Also, it's a shared group. We're going to click on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and actually let's go back. Let's run this now. So essentially what this is going to do, this condition, this diamond indicates that we have a condition in our test. So if we don't see the text login, we're not going to try to log in. So the other way you could do it is you could have actually checked whether or not we were logged in. If we were logged in, then you would log out. So that's another way of doing it. Hopefully this gave you a way to handle logins from a best practices standpoint. Go out to the website or reach out to us if you have additional questions.